Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Minute on the Mountain. We have got another product review for you on this video. A company called Asoko Lighting reached out to me and asked if I would test and review their under the cabinet LED lights. So not really an outdoor product, but still I was excited to test it out. This is the box that it came in. I'm going to do the unboxing for you. So again, it says LED under cabinet lighting. Now it's rechargeable, but we're going to kind of put it through the paces and see how many days of runtime we get without charging it. And it actually comes with two different lights. So here's what the light looks like. This is your motion sensor right here. So that's one of the modes. You can have it off, which it's in the off mode now, obviously. You can turn it on, or you can put it on motion sensor. It has 5 different colors. So to change the colors, you hit that motion sensor right there. I've got this facing away from me, but I think it's doing it correctly as I'm looking in the camera. And I'm going to set it to one of these white colors. Definitely not that. My wife doesn't like the orange color, so we're probably going to go right there. Probably be the color. So it is mounted with these 3M magnets. So you've got an adhesive side on the magnet that you put on your cabinet. Then this is the magnetic side. And you'll notice on the back side of this light, you've got 2 areas here that are metal for the magnet. Now, the one thing I noticed, they sent me 3 magnets. Unless I've got one lost in the packaging here, I would assume you would want 4 of these, 2 for each light. So far, just on the unpackaging, the unboxing, that's the only thing I see that would be a negative. Here are your 2 USB to Type-C charging cables. So now you could, where it is magnetized, you don't necessarily have to hang this close to an outlet where you can recharge it. I'm gonna do that though. I'm gonna put it over here under a cabinet near our blender and our toaster and our air fryer is over there. And then I'm also planning to put one of these up in our storage room. So anyway, we're gonna hang it here in just a minute, and we'll show you what it looks like after it's mounted. And then we're gonna just leave it up for several days. We're gonna test how many hours of use we get out of it on the motion sensor mode without having to charge it. So I've got the first magnet here, and I've just got a little mark with a Sharpie for I need to put the second one so that it lines up again with these 2 metal pieces on the back of the light. So I'll get this other magnet hung up, and then we'll hang the light here in 1 second. Okay, we have it hung. So it's right here on top of our toaster and air fryer and Rhonda's Vitamix, which is over here to the side. But I'm not going to charge it. I want to test a couple of things. Number one, I just want to see how good the motion sensor works. So I'll come in here randomly and just see how far away I have to get before it picks it up. And I'm going to try that with our overhead light on, like it is now, but I'm also going to try it in the dark, in case I was, coming down in the night to get a drink of water or something like that. And then the other main thing I want to test is how much battery life you get out of it before you have to charge it. So you'll see, again, we put it pretty close to an outlet. Oh, it started to dim because I was super still. And then just that little move of the camera made it stay bright. So we'll test it out over, a couple different times tonight, and then see how much battery life we get out of it. So it's been off for a few minutes now. So we're going to test and see how close you have to get before it picks you up. Now it's under the cabinet. So as soon as I got my hand under there, it picked it up. It does not pick it up when you're out here. Right? So as I was walking to it, it didn't automatically turn on. So it's definitely something that if you mount it underneath your cabinet, you kind of have to get right underneath the cabinet before that sensor picks it up. The other thing I want to test is I want to time, sorry guys, I'm adjusting the camera here. I want to time how long it stays on once it's triggered. So I'm going to set my stopwatch on my phone, and now I'm going to back out of the way here, and let's see how long it stays on when there's no movement. Okay, that was right at 30 seconds. So if there's 30 seconds with no movement, it's going to slow down, or it's going to shut off. So you got about 30 seconds, which means you'll probably get a lot of battery life. It's not going to stay on for long amounts of time if there's no activity going on near the sensor. So now the next thing we're basically going to test is just leave this on for several days, and then I'll report back to you guys, how many days worth of use we get without having to charge it up. There was in fact a fourth magnet, so they do send you 4, 2 for each light. It had fallen back in here behind the packaging material. So far, nothing at all negative that I would say. Again, the motion sensor isn't going to pick you up from across the room. So if you're not using that part of your counter space, if you're not using the appliances where it's near, it's not going to pick it up. But it does seem to be pretty sensitive. As soon as I walk over there and put my hand under that cabinet where it's mounted, it goes off. All right, guys, the next test we're going to try is to see if having the overhead lights off in the kitchen makes any difference on how close you have to get to the sensor, if it makes any difference. Nope. So again, you do have to get pretty much right up on it. It's not going to pick you up from far away, but as soon as I put my hand under that cabinet, even in the dark, the motion sensor picked up like it's supposed to. So that's standing back to give you a look. And then again, let's see if we can get the different colors going for you here. So that's the next color. That's the orange one, kind of yellow color. A mixture. There we go. All right, good morning, guys. It's the morning of the 5th day since I put this light up. And it still shines bright when you turn it on, but I've noticed this morning you have to get closer to the infrared sensor to trip it, the motion sensor. So I'm assuming that's a battery thing. I think that's probably the first sign that the battery's starting to get weak. But I'll continue to check it for another day or two and see if it kind of levels off and has that same level of sensitivity. But when I first put it in the other night, as you guys saw the video, as soon as I just put my hand anywhere underneath this cabinet, it would trigger it. Now my hand has to be about this close to trigger it. So we'll keep testing it for another day or two and see if that's consistent or if it continues to get worse. We're on day 8. So we haven't charged it since we first put it in. I don't know how many times a day it's going off. It'd be hard for me to guess. Now the one down in our storage room, we're not down there very often at all, but we're up here. I notice when I do dishes, it'll set it off sometimes. So when I'm here at the sink, it'll sometimes set this off, but not every time. But as soon as I put my hand under there, it's still tripping. So 8 days in, we haven't charged it. Still seems to be performing well. My wife wished it put out a little more light. I don't think it's any dimmer than when we first put it in, honestly. I think it's putting off about the same amount of light it did as when we first put it on. Forgive the background noise, guys. I got the dryer and washer running. We're in our little food storage room. I'm getting ready to walk by this motion sensor light. There you go, and it just kicked off. So I got this one mounted up here. It's 15 days since I hung it. All right, and now we're coming up here to the one under the kitchen cabinet. And again, 15 days since we hung it. And as soon as I stuck my hand under there, still came on. Time for my final thoughts on the Asoko LED under cabinet lighting. Just some additional specs on it. It's been 19 days since we hung it under the cabinet, And if I turn it on, I don't know if it's barely shining. Now, I didn't charge this, guys, when I got it. I just put it up as is, so I might have gotten even more time out of it had I charged it. At 17 days, 2 days ago, I just haven't had a chance to film the outro here, but at 17 days is when it really started to be considerably dimmer and not have as much light. So I got 17 days out of it without charging it. Again, if I would have charged it when I first received it, might have gotten even more for that. When you go on the website, it looks like it puts out 250 lumens. So it doesn't really say on the packaging anywhere, but on the website, 250 lumens. And this is 9.5 inches long and 2 inches wide. And again, it comes in a box of 2, and there's 5 different colors. Right now on their Amazon link, it retails for $39.99. I'm going to have a code in the description where you get 50% off if you're interested in picking one up. So it's going to cost you about 20 bucks. The pros for it, it's just easy. Easy to install, easy to operate. I got 17 days. The website says that you should get 30 days with it being turned on about 10 times a day. Now, again, I didn't charge it. Had I fully charged it when I received it, maybe you would get 30 days. I got 17 days right out of the box. And I don't know if it was turning on 10 times a day or not. It might have been close. Again, every time I was at the sink doing dishes, it would come on. If I pulled anything from that cabinet, it would come on. I like that it's mobile. You know, you can use the magnets that come with it, but honestly, this is light enough. You could hang this with a command strip. So if you had it up for a while and didn't like where you had it and you wanted to relocate it, it wouldn't be a big deal at all to relocate it. So those are the pros. Really, the only con, there's not a con in the sense that everything it says it'll do, it does. My only issue is it just doesn't put out a ton of light. So I'm not really sure what the purpose of it is other than just ambiance, you know, for under your kitchen cabinet. Like, I wouldn't want to just have this and not my overhead light. I noticed on the website they also call it a closet light. To me, that makes a lot more sense. I could definitely see putting this in a closet if you didn't already have a bulb in your closet. I think this would function really well for that. So overall, it performed and did everything that it said it should. And I think for 20 bucks, and you get 2 of them, if you use that discount code, again, if you think it would be valuable to you in a closet or something, I think it'd be a great buy. I just don't really get putting it under a cabinet, other than I guess maybe the ambiance that it creates. I'm not sure. So that's the review. I'll put a link in the description to their Amazon page. I'll put that discount code in there. I'm going to clean this up, and then we're going to wrap this up with the Minute on the Mountain. Let's go ahead and wrap this up with the channel shout out and the Minute on the Mountain. The channel that I want to shout out is Boneyard Wildlife. Boneyard Wildlife. Primarily trail camera footage and some amazing trail camera footage. I think he gets more bobcats and maybe more black bears than any other channel I watch. He just gets a lot of cool footage. So I'll put a link in the description. Check him out when you get a chance. Again, that's Boneyard Wildlife. And I'm going to read to you from James, the Minute on the Mountain. It's James chapter 1, verse 2 through 4. Dear brothers and sisters, when troubles of any kind come your way, consider it an opportunity for great joy. For you know that when your faith is tested, your endurance has a chance to grow. So let it grow. For when your endurance is fully developed, you will be perfect and complete, needing nothing. That is a super challenging verse, and I think a verse that can be misunderstood. We're not called to be masochists. We're not supposed to be excited and happy about pain or about suffering, but they do give us opportunities for joy. We can have joy in the midst of that for a couple of reasons. Number one, we know that our loving God has allowed it to happen. There's nothing that happens in our lives that he doesn't allow to happen. So he's got a purpose in it. He's got a plan in it. And the second thing is he's going to use that to make us more like Jesus. He's going to use that to develop our perseverance. And once we develop that perseverance, we won't be lacking anything. So again, we don't have to be excited for the hurt that the trial causes. We don't have to be excited about those emotions we feel. but we can be joyful even in the trial because of what it's going to produce for us. It's kind of like going to the gym. If you exercise a lot, or for you runners who run, I'm not a runner. I'll do it every now and then just because I know I need to do something, but I'm not a runner. But it's interesting, even people that I know that call themselves a runner, they never look like they're very joyful when they're running. Like in the moment, it just doesn't look fun. You don't have a look on your face like it's fun, but you know it's good for you. You know that there's going to be the good that comes out of it, and so you can have joy even in the midst of that. Kind of the same thing with this, that we can have joy in the midst of sorrow and trials and persecution, because we know God's going to use it to produce something good in our lives. So that's James chapter 1. Thanks so much for watching today, guys. Again, we're trying to climb towards 1,150 subscribers so we can do the next giveaway. We're about 4 away last time I checked. So if you like the channel, if you like the videos, but you've never subscribed, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. And once we get to 1,150, we'll do our next giveaway. God bless you guys. We'll see you the next time we're out on the mountain.